Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But of course, we have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganvovich. In today's Entertainment Spotlight, he's been part of my conversation with actor and producer Jon Huertas of the hit show This Is Us. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, Texas rabbi says he and two hostages escaped synagogue standoff. The rabbi at a Texas synagogue where a gunman took hostages during live-stream services said Monday that he threw a chair at his captor before escaping with two others after an hours-long standoff, crediting past security training for getting himself and his congregants out safely. The rabbi told CBS Mornings that he let the gunman inside the suburban Fort Worth synagogue on Saturday because he appeared to need shelter. He said the man was not threatening or suspicious at first. Later, he heard a gun click as he was praying. Another man held hostage described the ordeal on Facebook on Monday. The congregant said the men worked to keep the gunman engaged. They talked to the gunman. He lectured them. At one point, as the situation devolved, the congregant said the gunman told them to get on their knees. The congregant recalled rearing up in his chair and slowly moving his head and mouthing no. As the gunman moved to sit back down, the congregant said the rabbi yelled to run. Authorities identified the hostage taker as a 44-year-old British national who was killed Saturday night after the last three hostages ran out of the synagogue at around 9 p.m. on Saturday. The FBI on Sunday night issued a statement calling the ordeal a terrorism-related matter in which the Jewish community was targeted and said the Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating. In more national news, on MLK Day, King implores Senate to act. A day before the U.S. Senate was expected to take up critical legislation on voting rights that is looking likely to fail, Martin Luther King Jr.'s eldest son condemned federal lawmakers over their inaction. Speaking in Washington, D.C. on Monday, Martin Luther King III said though he was marking the federal holiday named for his father, he wasn't there to celebrate. He was there to call on Congress and President Joe Biden to pass a sweeping legislation that would help ease Republican-led voting restrictions passed in at least 19 states that make it more difficult to cast a ballot. Our democracy stands on the brink of serious trouble without these bills, he said. Monday's holiday marked what would have been the 93rd birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., who was just 39 years old when he was assassinated in 1968 while helping sanitation workers strike for better pay and workplace safety in Memphis, Tennessee. Around the U.S., other holiday events included marches in several cities, acts of service in King's name, and the annual Martin Luther King Jr. service at the slain civil rights leaders Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where Senator Raphael Warnock is the senior pastor. Biden said Americans must commit to King's unfinished work, delivering jobs and justice and protecting the sacred right to vote, a right from which all other rights flow. Senate Republicans remain unified in opposition to the Democrats' voting bill, and the 50-50 chamber needs 60 votes to pass the legislation. And two Democrats, Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kristen Sinema, remain opposed to changing Senate rules that would allow for the Democrats to pass the bills without the GOP. In more national news, funeral services held for 12 killed in Philadelphia fire. Funeral services were held on Monday for 9 children and 3 adults who died in the Philadelphia fire 5 days into the new year, the deadliest blaze in the city in more than a century. A funeral procession on the rain-soaked streets of the city Monday morning was followed by services at Temple University, to which members of the community were invited and asked to wear white. Those in attendance at the 3-hour service listened to Bible readings, official proclamations, and music. Relatives spoke about their loss and their memories of their loved ones from 2 microphones behind tables bearing caskets amid white flowers and large pictures of the victim. The victims of the January 5th fire were all on the 3rd floor of a duplex north of the city center near the Philadelphia Museum of Art. The 3-story brick duplex was owned by the Philadelphia Housing Authority, which is the city's public housing agency and the state's biggest landlord. Investigators last week confirmed that it started at a Christmas tree but stopped short of officially saying that it was sparked by a child playing with a lighter. And finally, in entertainment news, Betty White challenge raising money and awareness for animals. The late Betty White was a tireless lifetime advocate for animals, from caring for them without homes to launching her own weekly TV show, The Pet Set, dedicated to her celebrity friends and their pets. Her most far-reaching contribution, though, may be yet to come. On Monday, fans of White donated to animal welfare charities and shelters as part of what's been dubbed the hashtag Betty White Challenge. And animal welfare nonprofits were gearing up to capitalize on the viral tribute to the star of the Golden Girls and Hot in Cleveland on what would have been her 100th birthday. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's some time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganvovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Have a life outside of work. Always consider your personal needs because they are no less important than your work obligations. Make sure you have a life outside of work. Empower yourself to reintroduce play and relaxation into your life. You do not need to feel you are shirking your duties for more vital obligations because when you do not take care of you, you cannot take care of anything, including your work. Allow yourself plenty of time to unwind between work duties. Introduce balance into your life by scaling back on your duties and taking play breaks. This will help you to accomplish more. Your concept of success must not be associated with working until you drop or putting your labors before anything else. Today, make time to put aside obligations and take care of you. And remember, enjoy your day.
Actor and producer Jon Huertas is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight with him on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and producer Jon Huertas joined me recently on Conversations Live's radio show to talk about the success of his hit show This Is Us, but also his career is a bit of our conversation.
What has it been like for you, Jon, as you kind of reflect on this journey as an actor and what you've been able to accomplish?
You know, it's humbling, really, because, you grow up with this dream of being an actor, being a working actor, and where, I didn't grow up in Los Angeles, and it just seems unattainable. So it's really humbling, and I'm in awe of even being able to have a career. Especially now that I've taken it behind the camera and sort of directing and producing, and you dream about it, but you don't think that dream is ever going to come true. And but with the hard work and just never quit attitude, anything is possible. So I hope that whatever my journey has been, that it can inspire anybody else with any other kind of dream for any other type of career or just life, that people can believe that they can do what they want.
You had said in an interview when I was prepping for the segment, I watched an interview you did back in 2018 with the Hollywood Reporter, and you said about This Is Us that it was the best pilot you have ever watched. And now you've been able to be a part of this show as it is now into its final season. What has that been like for you to see the way that the audience have really taken to the show and saw exactly what you did in it?
For me, I like to figure things out, and so I'll take things apart and put them back together just to know how they work. And I feel like when we got going along in production over 2-3 seasons, I spent that time figuring out what it is I loved about how they did this pilot, and I really now I think understand why the audience kind of loves our show and why they feel like they can see a piece of their life.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back to guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganvovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.